All right, guys, we'll get started. Detroit Lions. This will be another tough matchup for us. Uh, this is probably the fastest team that we've played by far at all positions. They've done a nice job with their core people on the inside, with just how fast that they go. They obviously have probably well, they do. They have the best punt returner that we've faced in the Agnew kid. I mean, he's averaging 19.4. He has 2 touchdowns. He can get it to the perimeter quickly. He can go north and south. He can break things on contact. I've actually, he reminds me a little bit of this is a big statement of a Tyreek Hill. So he definitely has our attention as they all do. So coming off the bye week, there's things that we got to improve on, and we're looking forward to see if we've taken that next step. With that, I'll answer any questions.
Cold quit to keep it away from him?
Well, that's always easier said than done, yeah. No, we got to do a good job there because on the outside, their corners and safeties on our gunners. They do an excellent job on the outside, well coached. But this is a guy, when he gets opportunities, he can go.
Just talk a little bit about the situation with Zane, and obviously you guys, sticking with him. And what did he do over the bye week? What did you do, and how do you approach this moving forward?
Well, I think this will be he got away for the bye week, and I think that's good. And I think there's a time when a guy gets out of college, prepares for the combine, wins a kicking job, and then he gets into the stressors of the season. Sometimes he just needs to get away, and he knows he needs to perform better, and we expect him to perform better. So he needs to play well these last 8 games, and it'll start on Sunday. It'll be nice. It's going to be tougher now too because obviously the weather's changing. But obviously we'll be indoors for this one, so that'll be good. But we just looked at his kicks, and sometimes believe it or not, you can overthink things, and you can overanalyze things, and then you become paralyzed by that. Sometimes you just need to get out there and perform, and he needs to do that.
Chris, I talked to him the other day, and he said he was kind of surprised that you guys didn't bring in anybody else to at least get a look at another kicker. I mean, what goes into that decision?
I'm out of all the decision-making things, to be honest with you, so I couldn't. I always say this: if you're in my room, I'm coaching you, and that's our philosophy.
He seemed like his confidence hadn't been shaken. I mean, I know it's talking about a Wednesday and not a Sunday, but have you seen any kind of difference in him? And he said he also, like, when he misses a kick, takes it really hard at the time. Like, do you try to talk him out of that, or how does that work?
I think we've probably run the whole gamut on that. And I think that sometimes things are different. I mean, obviously for us right now, every kick is a pressure kick because we need to get the points, and he probably feels some of that. But what he just has to trust is his God-given ability to get up there and strike the ball well, and he can do that. He's had a good week of practice, and I expect him to play well. But there's sometimes if you feel like you're in a slump, if you're a hitter, you got to hit your way out of it. I mean, he's a kicker; he has to kick his way out of it. And he's worked on a few technical things, and hopefully those things will come through for him.
Any simpler to kind of correct it, because it seems like when he does miss, it's consistently left. Is that easy to pinpoint that?
Sometimes, but in practice, if he misses, sometimes they go right. So you guys you just see the games. I get the full gamut, but he struck the ball really good yesterday, and I'm looking forward, for him. And like I say, this last 8 games, we're approaching, it's a new season for him, and I think that's the only way to do it. And it's really, I tell him it's a 1-game season. Just play well in this game, and then we'll concentrate on the next one. As opposed to, he went through a little rut, and then he put a couple games together, and then didn't play as well over in England as what we wanted. I think it's just game by game, and he's learning that process.
Will Jabril go back to returning punts and kickoffs?
Jabril, he's gonna be back there, but Days has done a nice job also in the kick return game. The nice thing about it, I think I've always stated since I've been here, you want as many ponies in the stable as you can. So it's nice to see that we're developing that part, but it's also good to have Jabril back.
Rip off a long one?
It was nice to rip off a long one. It was good for the kids because, you know, we've been saying the opportunities that we've had, that we're getting closer and closer, and I've seen a little bit of transition. Like the first week when we played Pittsburgh, one of the kick returns, they just ran right by us. I mean, it didn't even look like we were out there. Now they're not running right by us. And so I kind of saw them developing, getting to be better blockers. And I said, sooner or later, you're getting closer and closer. Just stay with it. And they did a nice job, and really happy for them. And hopefully we can continue that.
Chris, in that muff punt in London, did you think Kai, he'd recover that cleanly?
Tregsy,
Yeah.
you mean?
Yeah, when he muffed, it looked like, you know, he was kind of pointing at the board, and he thought maybe somebody.
You know, for a
recovered.
second, I knew he didn't, because I was, as I was looking at it, the ball went up and then it just went straight down, and because actually he was very clean on that catch. There wasn't, the gunners weren't around or anything like that. The ball just dropped on him, and he ended up chasing it and muffing it there. And the angle I had, I could see that he was initially going for it, and then it kind of scooted out. Because he did a nice job the rest of the game. I will say, I'll give the kid credit. I think he had 4 career punt returns before that time, and he's done a nice job of practice of catching the football. And then after, you know, that muff right there, I could tell he wanted to beat himself up a little bit, but he's a good football player, and he's mentally tough, and said, hey man, let's move on. And actually some of those other fair catches that he had were much tougher, and he did a really nice job of fielding it. And if we had to put him back there, I wouldn't hesitate at all.
Carl had the block.
That was actually Agba. Yeah, Agba. No, that was good. We've been taking pride in trying to, you know, we say obviously we want to get a block. If not, we want to pressure the guy into a miss. And we had already missed the extra point. So for us to take off one of their extra points, we did it the hard way. But the guys did a nice job, and that's really a statement of who we want to continue to be is in blocking kicks if we can. Because the weather, I mean, if we were out there kicking today, I mean, it is a little windy today, so it's just going to get tougher.
Which kickoff coverage stat do you pay the most attention to? Because I'm looking at one that says, I think you guys are number 1.
Yeah, we're number 1 in yards against us.
Is that more important than kickoff?
Uh,
Average start?
It's kind of a loaded question there. The drive start really at the end of the day is kind of what you look at as an overall team, because obviously that's where we're starting. I think we're like 14th. But sometimes that can be skewed because, for example, in Houston, there was a safety, so we're kicking off from the 20, so obviously your drive start's going to increase because you're already backed up 15 yards. So I kind of look at them both because it's kind of the same thing with the kickoff return average. I mean, it says we're 3rd in the league, but we're 10th in drive start. It's just something we're taking pride in that. I'm just glad to see the guys we're trending that way, and I think numbers will begin to change more as people are now starting to bring it out and those things, and we'll really see where we're at.